Hi guys, I'm Nicholas with LifeWorks and welcome to the Powerhouse Podcast. All right, welcome to the podcast. It's a little cold right now where I'm at, so I've got this blanket and some coffee, but we're gonna dive right on in. My question for you today is, how often do you truly see yourself being aware? Awareness is probably one of the most crucial points of transformation and the transformation experience. In LifeWorks, we take people through this process of going from awareness to making a decision, to becoming very clear, to having direction, to getting around the right people and environments, and then having accountability to actualize their ideal life. And none of that happens by default. It happens because you design it and you're intentional about it. And so think of a time in your life where you didn't know that you didn't even know something. Like, do you remember a time when you didn't even know that you didn't know what a piano was? You go from a place of ignorance, from being unconsciously incompetent or incompetent, however you want to say that, to being in a place where you become aware, and then you start practicing or becoming clear about where you're at and what you're doing. And your ultimate vision for life starts from a place of awareness. Oftentimes what you see as possible in your own mind is only because of what you've been aware of in your life. There's this concept called the RAS, reticular activating system. And they say it's once your brain sees something or it's focused on something, it can collectively focus on about 7 or 8 different things at one time in the conscious mind. But subconsciously, deep down, way below the surface, your brain is like a supercomputer, better than any phone, any supercomputer out there in the world. And when you turn on the reticular activating system, all you're doing is telling your brain to look for and bring to the surface those 7 or 8 things you can consciously become aware of. Bring to the surface those things that you want to look for. You ever had that experience where you saw a red car and then all of a sudden you start seeing red cars? Or you see a certain type of car and then all of a sudden you can't not see them? That's the power of your brain being turned on and focused in on being aware of what it is that you're looking for in life. And so I want to talk to you about being aware daily, being aware monthly, quarterly, turning that time on to reflect and to become clear about where you're at, where you want to be. And without that awareness, you just drift. You have no direction. So starting off, there's a kind of a process. David Allen wrote a book called Getting Things Done, and he kind of popularized this concept in 2001 when he released his book about this weekly review. A lot of times in business, we review numbers, metrics, KPIs, weekly, monthly, quarterly, but he kind of popularized it as a productivity hack. And not many people do this, but when you and I get in a habit of weekly reviewing where we're at, celebrating our wins, getting clear about where we're at in conjunction with our ultimate big picture vision, we actually perform a lot better. And that simple step of awareness weekly, turning away from everything else, turning off your normal process and just going, hey, where am I at? Where do I want to be? And let's go there. That's a powerful process. So that's weekly. Monthly, you can do a very similar process where you just get and identify what are your top 3 priorities every single week, every single month, and every single quarter. And so your quarterly quest, we call it, is going to be something that's a little bit bigger, like writing a book, running a marathon, those types of things. The breakdown of those is going to be smaller increments. So weekly, monthly, break them down, make them simple. And that awareness factor, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. That awareness factor, it really helps build a life that works. Okay, the second thing to really look at in the midst of having a schedule where you're breaking it down and becoming aware is having accountability with that. There's something so powerful about accountability. I mean, I hired a coach a long time ago. It's my first coach I ever hired. And obviously it was, it was a price. I paid about $5,000 for not even a lot of sessions. But what was so powerful was during those sessions, just because I know I'm meeting with someone to give an account for my goals, it brought a higher level of awareness than I would have had just by myself. That's powerful too. You might want that in your life. And if you do, I highly recommend you check out the Momentum kind of web class or mastermind that we have through LifeWorks. It's not by the amount of value you get compared to the investment, you get way more value. But there is an investment to it, but it's going to give you that gift of awareness by having accountability weekly, monthly, quarterly, and having a system, a framework that works. It just works. You just got to work the system. And that's the second thing, is accountability. The third thing that comes around awareness, I remember Bob Proctor years ago, he had this video and I listened to it when I worked out, and he talked about awareness. He's like, it's all about awareness. And in order to have awareness, you have to think. You have to think. You got to spend time thinking. I think thinking is so underrated today. Spending time just to think, what's my next move? What's the most important activity? What's my big domino, as Tim Ferriss would say, right? What's the one thing I can do today that by doing would not either make all the other things irrelevant, or it would knock them down, make them effortless? I think that's a great question. Like, focus on what's the most important thing, what's going to help me make the most progress today towards the things that are most important in my life. That's going to work. I'm at my desk right now, and I'm looking at these calendars, these activity boards and things that, designed to keep me on track, keep me focused, to bring me back to awareness of what it is that's most important. I wonder how many things in your life right now, in your room, in your office, in your car, refocus you, on your phone, refocus you and bring awareness to what's most important, bring light to what's most important in your life. There's so much power in awareness. And if you find yourself struggling with being aware or being focused or being in a place of purpose, then definitely check out and subscribe to this channel or follow the podcast or whatever you do there. But I want to encourage you to check out the Momentum Mastermind. It's a month-to-month commitment. Unless you want to just go all in and commit to a 12-month agreement, you're just in. You save money by doing it that way, but it just allows you to be in a place where hey, weekly, monthly, quarterly, you're in account for what you're wanting to do and accomplish, where you're at, what your goals are, and where you want to go. And it really does help build a life that works. That's the whole purpose of LifeWorks. So awareness, this is the 4th podcast we're going to be releasing. I'm going to be in Utah this next week, going to, I think it's called Alta, ski mountain, whatever it's called. Somewhere really bougie, really nice, which will be fun. It'll be super fun to do that. But I'm going to be spending some time with my wife and just being aware. What is it that we love? What do we want to do? Who do we want to become? And what's the next steps for us? So hope you're having a great day. God bless. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow on YouTube, Instagram, LifeWorks Movement, or Nicholas Kopenbarger, and we'll see you soon.